Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Every Earthbound Boss Explained, where I explain each boss in Earthbound from Starman Junior all the way to Giygas. In this episode, I'll be talking about Mondo Mole. So, the term Mondo was a very popular term in the 80s in America. Basically just meant big and epic, like a lot of words. Which makes sense because of the time the game was released. Gave a feeling of that generation. Heck, even though not many people played this game in America back in the day. It's a nice callback though. And of course, he is a mole. And yeah, that's a mole. He is a mammal. He has the mouth and the claws. So that's it with the name. Context, as always, is he is the second sanctuary guardian. And you go through a big cave next to the Happy Village to find him. The people there say that one place is an anti-blue place before you are able to defeat Carpainter and end happyism. There's something interesting about fighting this boss as well from a story perspective, because you could fight it with, you could literally skip this boss and fight it last. But that's what speedrunners do, but I just prefer to fight him after you rescue Paula. You can even fight him with just Ness, because the cave is open from the very beginning and there are no lockouts. So, but I'd recommend doing it to get Paula to a reasonable level before you move on with the game. But anyway, you go through a cave, you fight. In the cave there are moles, and there are bears, and there are bats. Well, they're called Mr. Batty, and the Mighty Bear, and Mole playing rough. But, so that's likely the origin of Mondo Mole. This cave was full of moles, and he was the one to absorb the power of the Your Sanctuary, and he became a powerful mole. So, his attacks are a lot like those of the mole, with him utilizing his nails, but that's pretty standard, because he can't be absent-minded, or try to, and he can't make himself confused. So I guess that was an upgrade from the Your Sanctuary location. But anyway, so there are many ways to fight Mondo Mole, because of the fact that you could just skip this or go to it early. So I will start with the recommended way, fighting it with Ness and Paula. So let's look at the attacks. So he can bash, which doesn't do a lot of damage. So it's not that much of a threat. And he can put up a PSI shield. That's kind of a threat, because you actually do have elemental PSI with Paula. He can raise his offense, which actually is more threatening than when Captain Strong could do it. because he raises his offense more. But overall, kind of a turn waster move because ability ups were not that good in Earthbound. And he has Life Up Alpha, which is a really good move for him. It's good for bosses to heal themselves. Except when your bosses are two stupidly strong kids who could kill you quickly. So yeah, it's dumb. Mondo Mole's dumb. So he can claw with his sharp nails, and he can tear into a target, which I guess means, like, really lay into them, like him with many strikes. Like, he's tearing into you. I think the tearing does more damage than clawing with its sharp nails, but it's pretty threatening, because if we look at his offense, it's 37, his HP is 498, his PP is 161, so he probably won't run out of PP. Defense is 50, which is reasonable, speed is 9, so he's pretty slow. You'll probably go first with both Ness and Paula. He has 15 guts, and here's where it really counts. PSI strengths and weaknesses, because now that you have Paula, you have access to all of these. Also, leveling up Ness will give you flash and paralysis. You do not yet have brain shock. You only get that once you have Pooh in your party. So, it may look like you want to use fire against him, but you should use freeze against him, because fire does less damage, but it can hit multiple targets, but Mondo Mole is the only target, so you might as well just use freeze. But here's where it really counts. So there are two ways you can basically prevent him from even doing damage to you. There's flash, which can make him have unstoppable crying, which means he can't see well and can't hit you well as a result. And it's 99% chance of working, so you might as well, right? Wrong, because you also have paralysis, which is OP, because it does not allow him to use any non-PSI attacks, and none of his PSI attacks do any damage. And again, 99%, it's very likely to work. So you might as well use it, because then he's basically useless. As for strategy, just use Rockin' as Ness and PSI as Paula. Unless he has a PSI shield up, then you should just bash him with all you got. And start the battle by using paralysis as Ness. But that's how you fight them with Ness and Paula. But what if you just fight him as Ness? Well, he'll be a bit harder, I guess. The battle will take longer. But all you gotta do is use paralysis. As long as you have Ness in your party, Mondo Mole is a completely pointless boss. He is beyond weak because of his paralysis weakness. So that's some good game balancing there, directors, producers, writers. But if you go back with Jeff and Pooh, like the speedrunners do, then you can just kill him with your like freeze gamma or freeze omega. He'll die very easily. Even if you use normal hits, he dies super easy. So this is an interesting boss location. Very weak boss due to this paralysis. Like, seriously. Why? And after you fight him, you get the second sanctuary location. And if you're speedrunning, it'll be your last sanctuary location. And then this will go into Magicant. And if not, then congratulations. Now go to Threed, where you'll find your next boss, the Boogie Tent. See you next time. Goodbye.